Hola, buenas tardes. Good afternoon, good evening. My name is Abelardo de la Peña Jr. I'm the Director of Marketing and Communications with La Plaza de Cultura y Artes. Welcome you to tonight's En Casa con La Plaza. Yeah, I think I have something going on here. There you go. Anyway, En Casa con La Plaza, been at it since April of 2020, or maybe 290th episode, but hey, who's counting? Welcome. Thanks to our sponsors, Union Pacific Foundation and the Institute of Museum and Library Services for supporting these conversations, demonstrations, presentations, and performances. Today we have a good one. Dan Guerrero's back in town, pre-recorded. I don't know where he's at right now, but he is with us tonight on tape. This was pre-recorded from earlier this week. His guest, Sergio Trujillo, is out in the East Coast, down in New York City. And I believe he had something going on tonight. And I know Dan will talk about it. But in the meantime, before we get started on that, an update of what's going on at La Plaza de Cultura y Artes at 501 North Main Street, right across from Guerrero Street. We're open this Saturday and Sunday, Memorial Day weekend, with all of our exhibitions open. La Tienda is open, our museum gift store, 12 to 5 p.m., along with La Plaza Cocina. La Plaza Cocina, our new museum, right across the street from La Plaza on Spring Street at 555 North Spring Street. And we have exhibits going on all around. At La Plaza, we have Alley Starts Here, our permanent exhibition, Calle Principal as well. And also the last few weeks of Patriotism and Conflict, our exhibition centered around the Chicano Moratorium of 1970. Check it out. It's going quickly, but a lot to see, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it. At La Plaza Cocina, our exhibition newly opened. We had the grand opening this past Sunday. It's called Abuelita's Kitchen Mexican Food Stories. It's a multimedia exhibition which shares the food stories of 10 indigenous, mestiza, Mexican American, and Afro-Mexican grandmothers, abuelitas. It does it through photography, text, a documentary film, kitchen artifacts, family recipes, audio stories, and much more. So check it out. It also is open. La Plaza Cocina is open on both days this week, and Saturday and Sunday. And we open both museums next Wednesday. So we're open Wednesdays through Sundays from 12 to 5 p.m. Hope you can join us. Okay, with that, we're going to get started here on this pre-recorded episode of En Casa con La Plaza. Thanks for joining us. Dan Guerrero will be welcoming, well, he'll tell you who he is. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to share the screen here. All right, share sound, optimize for video clip. You could use the chat feature on Zoom if you'd like, ask questions if you'd like, make comments. I'll be here. On Facebook as well, you could make comments, let us know who you are. Shout out to yourself, shout out to Dan, to Sergio, to me. Much appreciated this interactivity that Facebook affords us. So with that, I'll be quiet for a while. Dan always asks me to go away, so now I'm telling myself, Abelardo, go away. All right, we'll see you in a while.
I'm always excited, to have my guests, or otherwise they wouldn't be on, right? That'd make no sense. But I'm really excited about this young man who I've not met, but whose career I have stalked for a good many years. He is a top choreographer, but here on Broadway and everywhere. But here's the deal, and I'm going to read it because I don't want to goof it up. There was a time when our guest tonight had four Broadway musicals, all on Broadway, running at the same time. Okay, here they are. Tony Award winning Best Musical Memphis, Tony winning Best Musical Jersey Boys, The Addams Family, and the Pulitzer Prize winning Next to Normal, all at the same time. I don't even want to think about the royalties. So zooming in from the Big Manzana, Sergio Trujillo. Zoom in. There you are. I can't hear you.
City.
There you go. There you go.
Zooming in all the way from New York City. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for doing this. I covet your hair. I know ours is similar, pero you got that little way.
It's the pandemic look. We stopped going to our hairdressers to dye our hair, so we just give into the gray.
But your hair is fantastic color. You're lucky to, because I'm happy with, well, first of all, I'm happy to have hair. Pero, it's a nice grayish silver that you have there. So
It's
thank you so much
thank
for,
you.
did you notice how I pronounced your name properly?
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, of course. And of course, another Latino. So Guerrero, Dan Guerrero.
There you go. But what I love is on your website, you actually have your name spelled phonetically. I love
Yes.
that. I
Well,
love that.
we moved from Colombia to Toronto before I came to the States. And in Canada, they still do it. They pronounce it Trujillo. And I was like,
Of course.
yeah. And so, they don't have as many Latinos as we do here in America. So I help people out just to make sure that they're not embarrassed, because they do get embarrassed now.
I still have people say gorilla. And I go, did I say there was an L? It's all R's. There's no L's in that word. So you did better than I do. So, and you're very proud of your heritage, which I love, as am I. So I will drink to that. Here's to you and your career.
Yes, then I'll drink my cocktail.
Good. Now, you are proud of your heritage, and God knows your career already is clearly, it's not like you only do Latino product because you're a Latino. But coincidentally or not, you do have several projects in various stages of development that are Latino themed, right?
I do.
Tell me.
Well, let me tell you a little bit. So, for the first decade of my career, I did a lot of shows that were basically, Anglo themed shows, Memphis, Jersey Boys, Addams Family, Next to Normal, so on and so forth. And it wasn't until I did On Your Feet that it really reignited my desire to rekindle, my connection to my heritage, to my culture, to the Latin culture. And it wasn't really until I won the Tony Award where I just thought, where I'm at now, I think it's important for me to make sure that I take this opportunity. Well, now people actually can maybe pay attention to me a little bit more. That I am on the front lines, fighting to make sure that our stories are being heard, that we're not invisible, and really making sure that we are properly represented throughout the arts.
In a positive way.
Absolutely. And so and the way that I can do it, of course, is through making musicals. So the lockdown obviously pushed me to, sort of expedited that, because we were locked up. And so I had to be resourceful. I just couldn't sit and not do anything. So I reached out to various different people of writers, composers, lyricists, and one of the shows that I'm actually working on is called Waiting for Snow in Havana, based on a book by Carlos Ayer. And I have a great team on it. Karen Zacarias, who's a Mexican playwright, she's on it. This young American Colombian composer by the name of Benjamin Velez is writing music and lyrics, with a Cuban American poet by the name of Richard Blanco, who actually, I don't know if you know about Richard Blanco.
Yeah, I've met him. He's brilliant.
Yeah.
He was, yeah.
Yeah, so, I'm very excited about that. I also was approached by a friend of mine, she's now a friend of mine, a producer, about developing a show based on a book called Lives in Limbo, written by a Harvard law professor, Roberto Gonzalez. And what he did was he documented the lives of 150 undocumented immigrants for 12, 15 years. And so what we've done is we've taken, not unlike Chorus Line, where you took all of these interviews and all of these stories and really condensed them into a sort of more coherent, conducive story. And so I'm very excited about that. I have a great team. It's being written by a writer by the name of Hilary Bettis, composed by a wonderful team, a Colombian composer. His name is Julio Reyes Copello, who's actually a Grammy award-winning producer. He's won like 12 Grammys. He's writing the music, and Michelle Rodriguez is writing the lyrics. And the other, then there's other ones that I'm still, we're still in the process of developing them. So I don't want to jump ahead. But they're coming and incredibly exciting. And all of them, all 100% made by Latinos.
Yes, I'll drink to that.
Yes, thank you. Absolutely.
We're going to be sloshed by the end of this talk. One of them, I don't know if you want to talk about it, but I heard a rumor that one of them, whether it's in the mix still or has fallen out, as happens in our business, but weren't you involved somewhat with Josefina Lopez and Real Women Have Curves?
We will pause on that.
Okay.
But
Okay.
we will. You and I can definitely reconnect, and I can share everything and anything you want to know about that.
It sounds like
at a later date.
Okay, I'm coming to New York in June, so you and Sandroff and I, maybe we'll do it over.
Yes. Oh, well, Josefina Lopez is a playwright that I've admired for a long time, and she sort of has given voice to women in a very powerful way, and I want to celebrate that. So that's all I'll say for right now.
No, she's quite the hero out here in terms of, she runs that theater, as you know, which does wonderful programming for young people. And yeah, she marches to her own drummer for sure. But I do admire very much Josefina. Full disclosure, as we're going to be talking about dancers and choreography and all that good stuff, I believe, and not just because we're talking here, I think dancers are the greatest creatures on the planet. I swear, I love dancers. I've always loved dancers. By the way, second position is giraffes. I love giraffes. I do. But I was thinking giraffes.
I think of myself as a giraffe.
Right? When giraffes run in herds, come on, that's dancing, right? But I love dancers and choreographers, and so I'm particularly excited to be doing this. So I want to just quickly.
By the way, giraffes can't dance.
Don't ask them.
Yeah, no. There is my son actually. I read a book about giraffes can't dance. It's a really lovely book called Giraffes. Yeah. So FYI, in your analogy and you may want to read that book.
I will, because I do love giraffes, I gotta say. So you've choreographed way beyond Broadway, and for our folks, so they don't have to Google, you choreographed on the West End, winning the Olivier Award, which is like our Tony, as most know, for Memphis, and Mambo Kings in San Francisco, the Disney musical Tarzan that toured Europe for over a decade, Kiss Me Kate in Tokyo, you choreographed the Kennedy Center Honors, productions for the LA Opera, the New York City Opera, and Cheetah and All That Jazz, working with my all-time idol,
amazing,
La Reina, Cheetah. Come on.
Totally. Yeah, doesn't get any better.
Does not get any better. In my youth, before you were born, we did Irma La Douce in Palm Beach. To this day, that is my favorite experience ever. I've seen her many times over the years. In fact, she'll be doing Happy Hour in a couple of months. So it's just her schedule. She's busier than either of us.
I know, right? And I was very lucky that I toured with Cheetah and Kiss of a Spider Woman. And I have never, ever had an experience like that. Well, up until that point. And actually we became very close, but I learned so much from her. I mean, here is a person who was put on this earth to do exactly what she's doing. She loves it. Going on stage with her, she's so present, so full out, it's really understanding, like she understands the gift. She understands the responsibility that she has with that thing that she's been dawned on, it's unbelievable. And she actually injured herself when we were in Chicago. She never injured herself before. She hurt her knee, and it took everything in her power to stop. She actually couldn't finish the show, and that destroyed her. So she had arthroscopic surgery at the age, I think she was 65 at the time. She had arthroscopic surgery. She came back 4 weeks later to dance the show. And I remember we were dancing a number called Give Me Love. And in the number, she's in a cage, and then she comes out she's this beautiful, beautiful exotic bird, and she dances with us. And so, but at the end of the number, we put her back in the cage. And for those of you out there, when you stand, like for ballet dancers, they go up on point, on their point shoes. When you're in a musical, you can go up on demi point, and that means that they're up on their heels, but then they go like as high up on your toes as you can. And the choreography was such that at the end of the number, she had to go up on demi point and hold her position. That's what the choreography was. After the first performance after she got back, she literally did that, and her knee and her leg was shaking. But the thing about Cheetah was that she understood that that's what was choreographed, and that she was not going to compromise the vision of her choreographer. But that is the thing about her, is that she is part of our musical theater heritage, an art form that requires respectful commitment and perfection. And that is the thing that she taught me, and the thing that I admired the most about her.
She considers herself just a dancer. I mean, she's a legend. She's an icon. She is everything wrapped into one, but in her mind, she's a dancer. She could just be in the fifth line of the chorus. She's a dancer. And you're right. It's respect for that. Oh my gosh, she's delicious.
Yeah, really admirable.
Yeah, and still at it. She's coming out here, to California in November with her show at I think in Orange County. So I'll stalk her there.
Yes, go see her.
We're going to get to choreography. I don't know where to start. We're going to have to talk for 4 hours. So I hope your baby's sleeping. But she is respectful of choreography. But when I saw her in 9, remember she did 9. Mm-hmm. And there was a number, and I don't know how it happened. I'm sure it was in 9. And she was dancing on water. There was like a table, and there was like a little, and she was, and she was already a dancer of a certain age. Mm-hmm. And I sat there so nervous. I didn't enjoy the number. She was being brilliant, but I was so worried. I thought, how could they have her dancing on water? It seemed so precarious to me.
Well, Cheetah wouldn't do it if she didn't believe in it. She wouldn't believe in it. And by the way, I think one of the things that keeps Cheetah young is that Cheetah always sees herself as that young dancer. Like she's never lost sight of that. Yeah. And she's forever young. She's forever young because it is the way she approaches her work, the way she approaches her life, the way she inspires all of us. And that's what, I've been lucky enough to have spent some intimate moments with her and conversations. And she she's a life force, and so much to be learned from. And but she wouldn't have done it if she didn't believe in it, if she didn't feel safe. And she was committed. That's what was given to her, and she understood the responsibility.
Right. That's right. But it may have kept her young, but it aged me 10 years watching. I swear, I sat there going, "Oh my gosh!" Anyway, but she's fine and still doing it. So you've done a million things, as we know, but I'm going to kind of focus for a minute on two biggies. Although all of your shows are plenty big, but because the two shows, there would appear to be so many similarities, and yet they had completely opposite, distinct challenges, and that would be Jersey Boys and Ain't with the
Ain't Too Proud, yeah,
right. One, of course, the Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, and the other, the Temptations, 2 male singing groups. But that's about where the similarities ended in terms of your challenges as a choreographer, starting with Jersey Boys. They stood at the mic and sang, which in a Broadway musical would have been a little snore city. And so you had to keep it authentic to who they were, but create a whole other thing. Tell us about that particular experience.
Yeah, so when I was approached by Des, I met with Des first, by the way, Des McAnuff, our director, a brilliant director. We talked about the show. Then then I went off into a studio to choreograph the show, but this was, a long time ago, but I had to do research. So I immersed myself in the world of, of musical groups from that era. back then we didn't have YouTube, so I went to the Museum of Film and Library and Television here in New York. At the time when before I did the show, I lived in Los Angeles, so I went to a place in Studio City called Hollywood Video, where you can actually rent VHS tapes.
Yeah.
And I went there and I just immersed. I watched so many Ed Sullivan, like anything. I watched the Temptations, the Four Tops, every single musical group that you can imagine. Because I needed to understand the period. And so I went into a studio and worked on all these really intricate choreographic sequences for Jersey Boys before I got into rehearsal. And once I got into rehearsal, I did my first number, and Des was like, I think we need to scale all of that back. And I was so upset because, here I am getting to choreograph a show, this is my first my Broadway debut, and I want to show off. But Des understood that it was imperative for us, for the audience, to really buy into the fact that they were watching blue collar guys, these guys from the hood who weren't like the Temptations, who weren't like the Four Tops, who were from a different world. And right there and then I understood what I needed to do. So I created this vocabulary that was very specific to the world, very specific to the characters, with restraint. I could have done great things, but in essence, what was most important for me was to service the show, to service the story, and to service the characters. And it forced me to be even more, I think, ingenious with my choreography, because when you guys have guys standing at the microphone, you have to figure out, well, how do I carry this on for 2 hours, and how do I give each character their own distinct trademark? And it was a great lesson for me as I began, the next, 15, 20 years of my career from that moment on. But it was, the great direction from Des, who really understood that he needed to, restrain me. And then, what was interesting was, 10, 15 years later, we get to work on Ain't Too Proud, and he unleashed me. He said, go. And so
finally, all that research paid off.
All of this stuff that I had in my body, all of this stuff that I had, researched, that I knew so well, I just allowed myself to create, with abandonment. And that's what happened with Ain't Too Proud.
You use the word, the dance vocabulary. There's a quote here that you said, as you just said, we actually had to make a character for the show. So the movement language must stay true to the artist while also evolving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, I think what was interesting about Ain't Too Proud was I only do one number that is like them. And that is the way you do the things you do. And that's the first number in the show. Because I picked one number that I wanted to pay homage to them. And I also wanted the entryway for the audience to look at them and say, wow, I remember that. But after that number, I took it upon myself to create my own vocabulary. Because dance has evolved, for the last, in the last 60 years, has evolved so much. And for me to just dust off some steps and which weren't mine anyway. They were Charlie Atkins. I didn't feel, I didn't have ownership of that. So it was important for me to create my own vocabulary with the zone. Again, this is we were not doing a replica of the Temptations. We were doing our own, as an adaptation. It's its own, it has to have its own identity, and it has to, more important than anything, it has to service the vision of the show. And again, look, I had on my fingertips, I had real triple threats. I mean, I had actors who can really sing, who can really dance, obviously can dance and act. And I know that a lot of the Temptations, they didn't do the kind of stuff I had my cast do in the show. The guy who played David Ruff and Ephraim Sykes, he was a young dancer. He danced for me in Memphis. He was like 18 years old when I hired him. And 10 years later, he gets a chance to play David Ruffin, and I knew that I can ask Ephraim to do anything. I said to Ephraim, can you do a double tour, throw the mic up in the air, do a double tour, land on the splits, and then catch the mic? And he said, yeah, sure, I can do that. So, you know, it was a trust, it was respect, and it was a great collaboration for me to have in the show.
It was, I'm going to quote you again. You said, if I was choreographer of the Temptations, what would I do today? So
Mhm.
that's, as you're saying, you had evolved, dance
Yeah,
evolved.
yeah, we
And
have.
you wouldn't want to just copy as a choreographer. You wouldn't want to do that. And plus you had to make it relevant for today.
That's right.
But I have to tell you, I saw Ain't Too Proud at the Amundsen. I was literally in the first row,
Oh wow.
a little left of center, and all those knee slides right to the tip. I mean, I was in the show. I was in the show. And pre-COVID, the sweat was falling on me.
I know, we love.
But it was fantastic. And I took a choreographer friend of mine, and she and I were like in heaven. The choreography it's unbelievable. And that they were able to do that, it was amazing. It was an amazing thing.
8 times a week, and the show is touring right now. And we have, you know, what's great about getting a chance to redo a show is that you get to like, even like just like you just get to, oh my god, I didn't get to do that one the last time, but I'm going to do this time. And obviously, you know, it's depending on the cast, and we have really an amazing group of actors in the show right now, and it was spectacular, all of them, you know, and just so talented, triple threats, you know, real triple threats.
I read somewhere where you said the auditions for Ain't Too Proud were probably of your career, maybe up until that time, but had to be.
They were. It was actually what I really appreciated the most was that in the room I had in the final callback, there was a group of 25 to 30 African American actors, and they, you know, they all did the combination, and then I asked all of them to do it one by one, and the brotherhood, you know, that how they all just they cheered each other on. It was almost like going to church. That day I'll never forget it. It was really spectacular. It was a spectacular day, but more than anything, it was how they all held each other up. It was really wonderful to witness that.
And to see them all dance and all sing great and act. I mean, I in my New York days when I was an agent, I mean, in those days you had, if you were thrilled if you found a singer that could move and a dancer that could carry a tune, you were like done. You know, you mix and match, you'd be fine. But today, everyone does everything. It's incredible.
Yeah, no, it's unbelievable the how the art form has evolved, and how, you know, these young talented actors, dancers, singers are able to just take it all really and elevate it in a way that and the things that you can ask of them. You know, I was, you know, Ariana DeBose was one of my muses. She was in Bronx still, and then she did Summer for me. And really, you know, I can ask anything of Ariana, and she's, you know, again, she's been able to elevate the form in a way that's, you know, incredibly inspiring for all people, you know, that are young people that are aspiring to be like her and like them. So it's wonderful to walk into a room and see that all the time.
I think the danger, and I've seen it sometime, but I won't say in what shows, is that they become so trained that they kind of lose, I don't know, something. Corazon. They're so trained that they're almost robotic. I know that's a strong word, but I've seen that they get so overtrained that there's no reality there.
You know what I mean? I think for me, when I'm casting a show, I really, when we're doing the auditions, I really, you know, I don't teach. I work on the choreography before I walk into the audition, so that my assistant can teach it, because I really want to watch. I really want to watch the actors, how they're auditioning, how they're in the room, how they're learning, how they're reacting, how their process. And sometimes, you know, I've hired people that have crashed the audition because they have something interesting, that thing, you know, they're imperfect in a way, that there is something about them that is incredibly, you know, is that it factor, that special factor. And I try in my shows to have a chorus line of dancers, actors, singers that are not the same, because ultimately, you want to be able to tap into, their soul, and allow them to bring in their own, who they are, into the work, which is the thing that I was towards the end of my dance career. Is the thing that I was frustrated about, was that, especially with Fosse. I mean, I loved doing Fosse; it was amazing, but it was so restraining. Because you had to move a certain way, you had to do certain things. But I really wanted to explode, and so I really embrace uniqueness and personality, and I want them to really bring whatever it is that they have to the table when we're creating.
What you bring up, of course, is the scene is Cassie in a chorus line, where she was special, and no, you're kicking too high, your hat is too high, it's tricky. It's tricky. One more thing about Ain't Too Proud is that it received 12 Tony nominations, all well-deserved, but only one win. And who won that Tony? We have a photo. We have a great photo.
Look at that. Oh, that's an amazing night.
I bet. That's at the Carlisle. Was that the party? Was at the Carlisle?
It was. Oh, that was so much fun. Oh my God. Yeah, the memories.
A good memory. And then there's a photo here I want you to tell me about, Sergio, because I don't know what it is, but I love the photo so much. You're Tony with all those kids. What is it?
So I am a part of the board of an organization here called Revolución Latina, and it was founded by a friend of mine who is a dancer by the name of Luis Salgado, but he's also now a director and choreographer. And this organization is an organization that organizes various art incentives for young children from all walks of life, mostly from the outer boroughs, and they teach them music and dance and acting, and they have it throughout the year. But specifically in the summer, they have a summer camp, and they bring in Lin-Manuel has been part of it for a long time. He actually Luis created this organization when he was doing In the Heights, because there was a real need to inspire and motivate young Latinos to be involved in the theater. And by simply, introducing them to the art, could inspire them to perhaps pursue a life in the arts or, other disciplines. And it's a beautiful organization. So that picture was taken that summer at their summer camp. And I came in and I didn't know, by the way, that I was the first Latino to win the first Latin choreographer to win a Tony Award. I didn't know that at the time.
Yes.
And I just wanted these children to know that it is possible, that that I just like them, that I was like them, that I am like them, and it is possible. So that moment was just wonderful to walk into that room.
It's special, and those faces.
I know, aren't they beautiful?
Even if no one's saying all those kids are going to go into showbiz, God forbid, but the disciplines that they learn from those, I'm on the board out here of the neighborhood music school, and it's low cost, no cost education, mostly Latino students. It doesn't mean they're all going to become, yo-yo ma, but the discipline and I think all the things that they learn from the arts will serve them well overall.
Absolutely, yeah. The discipline, the commitment, the focus, and just the exposure. Art can save lives, really.
Oh, yes.
It really can, for sure, 100%.
Yes, I absolutely agree. Getting back to choreographers, well, we're not getting back, we're in it, but so many, and you bring up earlier about Cheetah and the Demi point, that they refuse to be flexible. Let's just say you as a choreographer, you and who these people are because they're always on charges up at Equity, but they do that triple turn to the left, and maybe the dancers can do them to the right, not so much to the left, and they won't move. They're inflexible. But you think quite opposite, and I'm going to quote you again. You look at choreography like a tailor, that you design a suit, you try it on the person, then you have to tailor it to that person. So you're not like, I mean, you're a little somewhat flexible what you've had in your mind's eye and what the dancer brings to the choreography.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think the best example that I have is John Lloyd Young, who played Frankie Valli in Jersey Boys. I remember when we were having our final callbacks, the producers asked me, they said, we have one person that we think is right for the show. And I said, well, let me see. I mean, let me work with him. So I went into a room and, I knew that there was something in there that I was like, I saw way past that moment. I saw into the future. And so, but I did have challenges because John was, he was not the greatest dancer. But there was something about him that I understood that we can actually get him there. So I said to them, I said, look, I said, he's our guy as long as I spent at least a month before I start rehearsals working with him in the studio. And everything that is Frankie Valli in the show, which is simple, it's like, but the things that, and it's not necessarily, quote unquote choreography, but it goes into it all is
Sure.
catering the movement, like how when he buttoned his jacket, when he unbuttoned his jacket, how he held the microphone, and then things like in one of the numbers begging, that I wanted him to do double splits, and John couldn't do it, and I worked with John on it, and at some point I realized that he wasn't going to be able to do it, but then I had to figure out like what is the other thing that he can do, and then we worked on knee turns, and that's what we ended up doing with John. But ultimately is that, again, if they don't, it's I can have an idea about how the movement should be, but I'm not the audience is not going to watch me perform. They're watching that person perform. So if they look good, I look good. So, but I do take great great attention to making sure that I'm protecting them, that I'm creating vocabulary that is for them. And then after John, every Frankie, I've changed and I've adjusted things for them. With Ariana too, when Ariana was in when we did Bronx Tale, and when we did Summer, the same thing. I had to make sure, I get Ariana, I know how she moves, and
That's
again,
the Donna Summer musical.
that's right. Yeah, she played Disco, who was the Donna Summer in her heyday. But really understanding, that it is ultimately the most important thing is to make sure that you are crafting it for the actor.
So let's talk about your dance career. We have a couple of, I love these two photos. Can we have them, Abelardo? No, Abelardo. Did he doze off? Abelardo. Oh my God. Oh, there we go.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
What
that's a surprise.
Yeah, there you go. Now, what do you remember what show that is? That Fosse? What is it?
No, that's not. That's a class. That's actually, I just started dancing. That was in 1983.
Wow.
Or 85.
Wow.
I mean, look at my leg warmers. Look at my shoes. Look at my tights.
Perfect.
That was a dance class. That was not
not a rehearsal.
And that's in Canada too. That's totally a dance class. But
wow.
Look, I'm doing it. Oh, that's pretty good. Wow, that was a surprise.
But the hands, I love the hands. And then,
I know, and the position. I think I was the only one in there that hit the right position, by the way.
And you could have been in Jersey Boys, because look at this photo.
Oh, look, 1981. That's high school. Oh my goodness.
Baby, you're a baby there.
Look how flexible I am. I hadn't even started training, like training yet. That was all natural facility. Oh my goodness. Look at all the hair.
Well, you still have all that hair, but here's the amazing thing, because it's not uncommon for a dancer, as we know, most, except for Cheetah, have a shelf life. And many, if they have the gift, they go into choreography. But you were actually choreographing before you started dancing in high school, because your ballerina friend, the dance ballet in Oklahoma, or...
I did. I wasn't even taking formal dancing yet. One of my best friends, her name is Lisa Vonderkoen, and she was a ballet dancer. So my chemistry teacher asked me to choreograph the choreograph Oklahoma, and I said, of course I can do choreograph Oklahoma. I don't even know what the show was about, but obviously, you know, then I went and did my research. But I knew there was a dream ballet, and I choreographed this dream ballet in it. I actually played dream. But by the way, this is how far ahead we were. We did very much like, you know, what's it called, rainbow casting, because the guy who played Curly in the show was a Anglo-Canadian. And Curly was a white guy, and I cast myself as Dream Curly, Latino covering. I think our Lisa was Swedish, so she was this gorgeous, beautiful blonde, but I think our Lori was white, and I cast our Dream Curly, Steve Mazzella, who was Italian. So, you know, I mean, it was very diverse.
Colorblind casting.
Oh, that's what it is, not rainbow. Yes, colorblind casting. Yes, thank you very much. Yes, that was in 1981. That's the ballet I choreographed from Oklahoma Ballet. Yeah, but I had no business choreographing because I had no idea what I was doing. So, but that's where I began.
And then you did also, I think, pre-dancer was a chorus line. Didn't you do a chorus? And you only knew the album cover.
Oh my God. You're taking me. How did you know all of this?
I know everything.
I did. I was a friend of mine. They were doing something there was the competing. I was at a public high school, but this was a competing private-ish Catholic school. And my friends who were Filipino, I don't remember their names, but they asked me, they said, would you come and choreograph a chorus line? And I was like, okay, sure. And then I walked into the auditorium and I was like, here's what I want to do. I want them to start in the back of the house, and we're going to go down the aisle. And, you know, I saw the album cover, and, you know, it was with the hats, right? And I was like, and we're going to do this, boom. And I was doing a kick line down the aisle. And then, you know, I got them all to go up there and form a line. I remember the concept of coming through the house, which I thought was really interesting and cool. But yeah, that was like, whoa, you're taking me back.
I'm taking you back.
Yeah, I was already gigging. I was already gigging outside of my own, you know, I was already choreographing for various high schools.
You were very big in the.
I had 2 shows between high schools.
There you go.
Instead of 4.
But now let's talk about, you were born in Cali, Colombia. And then when you were about 12 is when you moved to Canada, to Toronto, the suburbs there. A, why Canada? And B, 12, you already had a whole, it's not like people who left Cuba at age 2, they barely remember. But by 12, that must have been an incredible culture clash. Were you already bilingual?
No. So why Canada? You know, it was my family looking for a land of better opportunities. At that time, it was really hard to get into America. It still is, you know. And one of my uncles was the first one to go. He went in '69, and my mom's brother, and then everyone followed thereafter. We left and said we were the last ones to leave. So it was really where we could really it was easier. It just a lot. The immigration laws were a lot more accepting. It was tough, you know. I didn't speak any English. There was a lot of racism at the time. You know, kids were, you know, they weren't used to seeing brown people. They would call me names. They would call, you know, really, the discrimination was rampant. But, you know, you grow thick skin. You learn the language. I learned the language really quickly because I was 12, so I assimilated really fast. But, you know, I'm very lucky that I was able to have that amount of time in Colombia because I had a beautiful childhood, very carefree, with music and dance. I grew up in Cali, Cali, by the way, if you're watching this, go to YouTube and type in Cali salsa, and you'll see that the kind of salsa dancing that they do in Cali is spectacular because it's really fast and intricate footwork, and they do a lot of acrobatic stuff. It's really amazing. I mean, and it's a way of life there. And so that's what I grew up dancing when I was a little boy. And so that, can you imagine? So I have that really in me, like, you know,
it's in your DNA.
Yeah, you're kidding? No, music and dance. So I was very lucky that growing up, that's what I had, because that's really what it gave me a head start. And to this day, my family loves. As a matter of fact, I was looking at my sister's Instagram. My sister had a big party this weekend, and they're all, it's amazing. They get together and they have these huge dances where everybody dances salsa and everybody's playing instruments. It's really incredible. It's really incredible. So it's always been part of my growing up. So I'm very fortunate. I'm very fortunate that I had that experience, that I was able to live some of that in Canada, and because I think has informed a lot of my work, and allowed me to, by embracing it, made me even a better artist.
And your parents were always supportive of your going into the arts? Because I mean, I'm assuming there was nobody in showbiz in your family, so this came out of nowhere, but they were always supportive of it.
Well, I made I put a lot of pressure on myself when I first got to Canada, because being the son of an immigrant, as you know, it's like you have a sort of a responsibility that you're going to pursue a career that is stable in a way, and so that you can then later on help your family. And so I thought what I really wanted to do my entire life was dance, but I put that aside and I studied academics in high school. I mean, I had all of this dance, just dreams, but I actually went to University of Toronto to study biochemistry. And then from there, I went to chiropractic school.
And why would you do that? What chiropractic? I found that so interesting. Because you knew you were going to be a dancer? Why would you?
No, because I wanted to pursue a career that was stable, that, if in my head, not having anyone in my family that was an artist, that,
Sure.
You couldn't really support yourself through the arts, as a dancer. I mean, what kind of money am I going to make? How am I going to be able to help my family? Is I have to pay back? And, but in essence, so I was crazy though. It was like such turmoil for me. I was really inside of me. I wanted to dance, but then the other part is like, I really need to go to school and get this education. And then I took a year off from school, from chiropractic school. And I said, the first thing I said was, I told my parents, I said, I'm going to take a year off from school. It's just for 1 year. Don't worry. I'll go back to school. I just need to know if I can dance or not. And I want to go to America. This is because I was in Toronto, and I said, I want to go to New York and I want to try out, if I'm going to do this, I have to go where the best are at.
Oh.
And I New York for in the fall of '88 to take classes and audition. And, I wasn't ready yet. I thought I was going to show up here and all of a sudden, be hired for everything. And things didn't work out so well. So I went to LA. And because when I came to New York, because I wanted to dance on Broadway, but things didn't work out. So then I went to LA, of course, to study there as well. And because I wanted to dance in music videos and television, film, and I wanted to dance for Debbie Allen, for Paula Abdul, for Michael Jackson. And it was while I was doing a class, one of the teachers came up to me and she said, they're having auditions for Jerome Robbins' Broadway. You should go audition for it. And lo and behold, I went to the audition. Jerry Mitchell was running the audition.
We love
Jerry
Mitchell.
Yeah, Jerry, I've known him for 33 years, and Jerry was the person. He was instrumental in me getting hired for my first Broadway show. I got Jerome
from LA. You were in LA audition.
And I was in LA. And then I got a call June of that year. I was going to go back to school in September, and then I got that magical call that changed my life. And I went off, back to New York to do Jerome Robbins Broadway. And then the rest is history. Here we are.
Literally history. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And on top of everything else, you have a beautiful home life. You've been with your partner, the very well-known actor Jack Noseworthy, since 2000, I think, and you married in 2011. Look at him.
No, but we've been together since 1990. We've been together for 32 years.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But oh my God, that's even better. and you have Lucas Alejandro, who's still a baby. How old is Lucas?
He's 4. He's 4 years old.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, we've been together for 30. It'll be 32 years this fall. We met in Jerome Robbins Broadway. We're doing our first Broadway show. And we got married in 2011. As soon as marriage became legal in America, we got married. That, like, right away, boom, like that. So
you had dual careers all this time, which as two single men, well, not single, two committed men, but now with a child, there's going to be some maneuvering.
Oh yeah, are you kidding? Yeah, no, it's a total, it's a dance. It's certainly a dance. And Lucas is not, care about his dad, his papa's schedule. You know, he's kids don't care. They don't, I mean, obviously, there's not that he doesn't care, he just doesn't know. But I've been lucky that I've been able to take him to some of my rehearsals and expose them a little bit. Last summer we were shooting the live capture of Jersey Boys with Nick Jonas, and they came to visit me in Cleveland, and he learned Sherry, and he sings Sherry. And then before that, whatever show I'm doing, he learns the song. Before that, when I was doing Ain't Too Proud, he came and he was singing My Girl. And then last fall, when I was doing Annie for NBC, he learned Tomorrow, and so he sings Tomorrow. So he has a whole one man show already.
He's ready for his solo show. If only he knew a choreographer to help him. If only.
Well, he has amazing godparents. Jerry Mitchell is one of his godparents. Christopher Wheeldon is his other godparent, and our friend Kelly Devine, who choreographed Come From Away, is his godmother. So he's got godparents that are in the art. So there's a little pressure there for the little one.
He is the original Broadway baby.
Totally. Yes.
Not Ethel Chate, but Lucas. Yeah. Is the original Broadway baby.
Totally.
Oh. I know you have a tight schedule, and I promised to keep it to an hour, and so we're doing very well. So we're okay.
Well, you're delightful. Thank you.
I thank you so much, and I do look forward to seeing you maybe in New York at some point if the gods are not the gods are with us, if Mark Sendroff is with us.
Mark Sendroff, who we love. I love him. I've known Mark Sendroff for as long as I've known Jerry Mitchell. So I adore him. He's a wonderful, wonderful friend.
That he is. And you are just the cat's pajamas. Thank you so much, Sergio. I hope to see you soon in person. Okay.
My pleasure. It's so wonderful.
I want to hear about Real Women.
Yes, in due time. Okay. In due time, we'll do a special. We'll do a special only on that.
It sounds good. Thank you so much. Calladito.
Sí.
Okay.
Wonderful. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye. Thank you so much,
of
Dan.
Course.
Thank you, Sergio. Just one slide I missed. I'm sorry, I got a little mixed up there. But tell us about this photograph. Please.
Oh, that's On Your Feet. That's the Gloria Estefan musical.
Oh yes, that was amazing. That was a special night. We did a concert here on Broadway for Viva Broadway, and Gloria performed on Broadway. It was a spectacular concert, and of course, doing her show was really special for me. Really, I mean,
and I saw that show too. I've been stalking you for years. You didn't even know. And I was in the LA company of Ain't Too Proud. Did you know? No, you didn't know. But now, as long as we saw the Gloria photo there, that had a separate thing too, because you didn't even want to see her music videos because you didn't want to be blocked into anything else. So that had another set of challenges for you.
No, so even better, what I did with Gloria was, I'm Colombian. So for me, like doing Latin dance is like, I was born, as you know, I was born into it. I was, I basically, my mom gave birth to me on the dance floor, and I went dancing. But I really wanted to make sure that I understood the Cuban culture, Cuban dance. And so before I started rehearsals, before I started doing pre-production for the show, I went to Havana, Cuba. I'm Canadian, so I could actually travel from Canada. So I traveled to Cuba. I was there for a few weeks, and I studied with some remarkable dance teachers, Afro-Cuban dance teachers. Yeah, it was amazing. It was really a life-changing experience for me. Because I really wanted to immerse myself in the culture. So, and I didn't want to watch any of the videos because I wanted, again, create my own. And also, I grew up dancing. I think the first time I went to my first gay bar ever, that's the first time I heard conga, and so that was my introduction to Gloria Estefan. So, so I knew all of her music. I knew the catalog. It was the catalog of the beginning of my gay year. So
that conga kicked off quite a few of those, I'm quite sure, but that's a whole other show. That's a whole other musical. So
Yeah.
anyway, so well, I'm glad Abelardo come back on. Where are you?
I'm right here. I'm right here.
Good. Thank you for showing that because it got lost in the shuffle. So that was a good PS to the show.
Right.
That's
So
wonderful.
I'm forgiven for that little mix up back then.
Yes, you're forgiven.
Oh, thank you.
Again, as you've been forgiven hundreds of times over these last 2 years. So again, to our beautiful guest, thank you so much, Sergio.
Okay, wonderful. And I hope to see you in person soon. Okay.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you, Abelardo.
All right, you're
Bye,
welcome.
Abelardo.
Bye-bye, Dan. Bye-bye, Sergio. And see you all again next time on En Casa con la Plaza. And of course, En Casa con la Plaza, Dan Guerrero Happy Hour. We'll see you again soon. All right. Good night. All right. Where am I? Where am I? I'm right here. There I am. All right. I'm back. This is me. This is live. Thank you very much for joining us tonight on En Casa con la Plaza, the pre-recorded session, Dan Guerrero Happy Hour with Sergio Trujillo. What a career. What a interesting person, very talented, Tony Award winning for some plays, musicals. Looking forward to seeing the one that he was not able to talk too much about, but I think you got a couple hints here and there. Otherwise, great interview, Dan. Appreciate you being here on En Casa con la Plaza, and you'll be back in a couple weeks, hopefully live with us. That's it for now. That's it for today. Memorial Day weekend, but we will be open at La Plaza de Cultura y Artes and La Plaza Cocina both Saturday and Sunday. You can check out all our exhibits. Bring your credit card, debit card, cash, Venmo, to take advantage of all the nice things, all the objects, the art, the clothing, and more at both gift shops, at both La Cocina and at La Plaza. Y con eso, thank you to our sponsors, Union Pacific Foundation and the Institute for Museum and Library Services. If you didn't catch this entire episode or you want to see it again, I'll be posting it on our YouTube page at La Plaza LA. It'll be on our Facebook page at La Plaza and also on our website, lapca.org. Get all our events. In fact, I had it lined up here. Let me see if I could find it. Go to our website at lapca.org. Click on the little, let's see, it says here events, and then you could scroll down and see this was today. We're not next week, Memorial Day week, we're gonna be dark, meaning as far as any kind of programming outside of our exhibitions, we won't be having any. We're taking a little bit of a rest. But starting June 8th, we return with En Casa con la Plaza, La Malinche, not a trader but a survivor, with Gloria Arjona, PhD, educator and arts activist. The next day, a plática live at La Plaza de Cultura y Artes, Art Beyond el Movimiento. It's free at 7 o'clock there at La Plaza. On Friday, our second summer salsa show with Trombone with DJ Willie. It's free. Doors open at 6. Live music starts at 7. Music goes on until 10 o'clock. Dance floor, seating, little bar there, and plus Tirsa's Cafe with their incredible Mexican food. And then finally on Friday, on Saturday, June 11th, Cuban American Cultural Festival, Herman Olivera and Trombone and other bands. It's a special event. This is ticketed, so just go to our website and you could get all the details. And then later on in the month, June 25th, Mujeres, Música y México is, let's see, with the Mariachi Las Catrinas and Stephanie Amaro. And then we start the next month. But that's it for now. Looking forward to seeing you all at La Plaza de Cultura y Artes, and we'll see you all soon. Thank you for joining us. Veronica Lozano Ruiz Carrillo, thank you for joining us. Let's see, Sonido Yare, and everybody else that joined us here tonight on En Casa con la Plaza. Muy buenas noches. Bye-bye.